headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister demands stronger national, international connectivity in culture, sports, and tourism. And stable growth achieved thanks to effective fiscal policies. And in our world news, Hamas freezes talks with Israel after deputy leader killed in Beirut.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huen Tan with the top stories. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh attended a conference to review the performance last year and launch tasks for 2024 of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism on Wednesday. The event was attended by leaders from ministries and agencies.
Speaking at the conference, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized one of the key missions of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism in 2024 is to improve interregional, national, and international connectivity in culture, sports and tourism while ensuring equal access to culture and tourism of people in difficult, remote areas. Highlighting the growing role and position of the culture, sports, and tourism sector in recent years, he said the party and state attach great importance to culture, which is an internal strength of a nation. The Prime Minister said that the organization of the National Culture Conference in 2021 and 80th anniversary celebration of the outline of Vietnamese culture demonstrated the party and state's attention to and the great importance of the cultural sector. He also acknowledged that the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism successfully completed 133 out of 148 tasks assigned by the government in 2023, contributing to the overall socio-economic development.
We must strengthen interregional, national and international connectivity in the fields of culture, sports and tourism, build a one route, multiple destinations tours, a heritage trail, and connect people through sports. We must ensure equal access to culture, sports and tourism, particularly for residents in rural, remote, border, and marine areas and for vulnerable groups.
The government leader told the sector to improve the effectiveness of and reform state agencies' management over sports, facilitate private parties' engagement in sports development, devise mechanisms and policies for promoting sports economy, and reform the mass sports movement. In addition, the Prime Minister ordered strongly reforming tourism promotion methodology, developing a smart tourism ecosystem in tandem with conducting digital transformation, enriching experiences for tourists, and stepping up green technology applications so as to reach the targets of 18 million international tourist arrivals, 110 million domestic visitors, and $34.8 billion in tourism revenue this year. He expressed confidence that the culture, sports and tourism sector will successfully fulfill the key tasks of 2024, achieving new accomplishments and contributing to the construction of a strong and prosperous country.
Addressing a review meeting of the agriculture and rural development sector in Hanoi on January 3rd, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh praised the industry for overcoming challenges to achieve high results, thereby increase the important role and position of the industry. The Prime Minister said that in 2024, the agricultural sector should implement the government's motto of disciplined responsibility, timely initiative, accelerated innovation, and sustainable efficiency. It is necessary to reorganize production, develop appropriate and effective forms of production coupled with digital transformation and digital economy, boost mechanization, and apply science and technology, high technology, intelligence, and automation in agricultural production. In 2024, the agriculture and rural development sector aims to achieve a growth rate of 3 to 3.5%, and an agricultural, forestry, and fisheries export turnover of 54 to 55 billion US dollars. In 2023, people-to-people diplomacy together with party diplomacy and state diplomacy has promoted its pioneering role in creating and maintaining a peaceful environment and mobilizing external resources to serve national development, enhance Vietnam's position and reputation globally. This was said in a report delivered on Wednesday in Hanoi at the Party Central Committee's External Relations Commission meeting to review people-to-people diplomacy in 2023 and work out tasks for 2024. Lê Hoài Trung, head of the commission, applauded the people's organizations and associations for promoting the motto proactiveness, flexibility, creativity, and effectiveness, and contributing to national foreign affairs work. 2023 is a milestone for transport infrastructure development when 26 projects have been started and 20 important projects have been put into operation. In particular, more than 475 kilometers of expressways have been put into operation, helping to remove traffic bottlenecks for localities, while creating an important driving force to boost the economy in localities.
After many years of working away from home, Tung and Vân decided to return to their hometown because the new Fut Tang Expressway has brought about many quality of life changes to this land.
We are glad that the expressway has attracted investors and brought new job opportunities to the local people.
It's easier to find work nowadays. We no longer need to move to another locality to find decent jobs.
Tuyên Quang will have 7 industrial parks with access from the Fut Tang Expressway. This expressway is one of several important projects that promote regional linkages to create a strong arc of inter-regional economic development.
There are many investors investing in industrial park infrastructure here in Tuyên Quang. These industrial parks will create more job opportunities and revenue for the province.
After there was a policy to build an expressway connecting Phu Tor and Tuyên Quang, the province immediately adjusted the planning to focus on tourism, industry, and services.
A record 475 kilometers of new expressways were put into operation around Vietnam during 2023, bringing the total length nationwide to nearly 1,900 kilometers.
In 2023, despite the exemptions, reduction and extensions of taxes and fees up to nearly $8.2 billion, state budget revenue has exceeded the estimate by more than 5%. This is also the third consecutive year that budget revenue has exceeded estimates, making an important contribution to the country's economic growth.
In 2023, the geopolitical complexities are forecast to persist, significantly influencing the country's economic recovery and growth. Despite these challenges, the financial sector has executed assigned tasks. As a result, the state budget revenue for 2023 reached more than $70 billion, surpassing projections by approximately 5%. Notably, domestic revenue managed by the tax industry reached over $60 billion, exceeding 8.27% of the estimate.
All support packages issued by the National Assembly and government were deployed by tax authorities to all businesses and taxpayers, thereby helping businesses access a source of capital for recovery.
State budget revenue achieved positive results, helping to ensure major balances of the economy. Vietnam recorded a budget deficit of below 4% of GDP, much lower than the 4.42% allowed by the National Assembly.
For 3 consecutive years, state budget revenue exceeded assigned budget expenditures. In those 3 years, 700 kilometers of highways were built, proving the effective of public investment. This is a victory for fiscal policy.
Public investment disbursement in 2023 is a bright spot. Public investment in 2023 reached about $29 billion, nearly double that of previous years. I believe that up to now 90 to 95% of that investment have been disbursed.
Due to flexible management, the current public debt is only 37% of the total level assigned by the National Assembly. Thanks to that, the state budget will be invested more in infrastructure systems, facilitating socio-economic growth.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade held a meeting on January 3rd to discuss solutions to ensure the supply of petroleum for production, business, and consumption of local people. Based on the target GDP growth rate of 6 to 6.5%, the Ministry of Industry and Trade balances the total minimum petroleum source in 2024 to be more than 28.4 million cubic meters, tons of petroleum of all kinds. The local traders are needed to proactively seek supplies and ensure the supply of petroleum to the market. The ministry will also closely coordinate with the Ministry of Finance to adjust costs in the base price of gasoline according to regulations, ensuring businesses operate stably to supply gasoline to the market. Coming up next, Vietnamese residents in earthquake-affected areas come together during difficulties. A national support program gives Roma ethnic people hope for a better year. Welcome back to VTV News. Food safety management must be ensured at all levels, along with promoting the roles and responsibilities of local governments and knowledgeable consumers, according to Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà. He emphasized the need to innovate communications, elevating awareness of all levels and sectors, especially grassroots people on food safety and serious responses to food safety violations. Each ministry and sector should strengthen food safety management throughout the value chain, focus on inspecting and examining areas that have a significant impact on human health, and develop regulations to harmonize with international standards. As of now, there have been no casualties among Vietnamese citizens recorded due to the recent earthquake in Japan on Tuesday. Nevertheless, Vietnamese residents in the earthquake-stricken area in Japan are facing severe challenges as essential services such as electricity, water, and gas have been disrupted. Rescue efforts from the Japanese government have been hindered by extensive road damage. The following report tells us more.
Long queues of individuals awaiting relief supplies can be observed in Shika Town, Ishikawa Prefecture. Some were seen hoarding food and essential items. Despite these challenges, the Vietnamese community in Ishikawa has come together, leading to the establishment of volunteer groups actively involved in relief efforts.
For those in Hakui, Nano, keep it up. The road is almost finished, and once the water pipes are connected, water will be available soon. If anyone in Hakui, Nano, Wajima needs to buy essential items, feel free to message me. I can help with the purchase and deliver them to your location, no charge. For anyone stranded without transportation back to Kana, gather together, and I'll provide a ride, free of charge.
Those residing in shelters, including Vietnamese people, are currently grappling with the challenges of cold weather and shortage of food. Carts filled with water and food donated by Vietnamese volunteers are prepared to reach those encountering difficulties.
In the present circumstances, both our life and work face considerable challenges. Our work has come to a halt, and our daily lives are exceptionally tough. Our belongings are damaged, and there has been a disruption in water supply for the past 2 days.
We are deeply concerned as earthquakes can occur at any time. But we are grateful for the presence of both Japanese and Vietnamese volunteers. The Japanese volunteers have provided essential supplies such as water, rice, and porridge. We are always ready to evacuate with our belongings at a moment's notice in case of a tsunami or earthquake.
In times of adversity, the Vietnamese people's spirit of unity becomes even more apparent. The Japanese government reported that over 31,800 people were taking refuge in shelters, with at least 200 buildings having collapsed, and the numbers were anticipated to increase.
After the first day of the new year, boats filled with fish arrive at villages in central coastal provinces. The abundant catches at the start of the year have helped fishermen increase their income. They are now optimistic for the prosperous year ahead.
After his two-day fishing trip, Phung Nhas vessel arrived at Cửa Sot Port in Hà Tĩnh province. He sold 12 tons of fish, earning about $5,000. Each crew member received nearly $290.
We have had big catches since the beginning of this year. In addition, thanks to the support from port officers and border soldiers, transportation logistics costs have been greatly reduced.
Cửa Lò Port was bustling with fishing vessels around 4 a.m. After the initial fishing voyage, many fishermen were able to catch 10 to 15 tons of fish and shrimp.
We hope we will enjoy big catches of fish, shrimp, and other types of seafood and earn much more profit. We also hope the government will create favorable policies for fishermen.
Meanwhile, border soldiers have raised awareness among fishermen about the implementation of the government's fisheries law to prevent illegal fishing in foreign waters.
At the beginning of the new year, the management board has provided support for fishermen in terms of logistics services, fuel, ice, and necessities. We have worked with local authorities to ensure security, order, and environmental hygiene at the fishing port.
The first trip of the year holds great significance for fishermen. Beginning the new year with abundant catches brings them immense joy and instills hope for a prosperous fishing season.
Kon Tum is home to Roma, one out of the 54 ethnic groups in Vietnam. Over the years, the party committee, government, and political system in the province have implemented numerous policies and solutions to support and develop the well-being of Roma people. Following the national program aimed to improve the lives and livelihoods of ethnic groups approved by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, bright prospects have given hope to Roma ethnic people for a better new year.
The Roma ethnic minority group has 177 households with 617 people, accounting for 70.4% of the population of Le Village, Kon Tum province. In the past, life for locals was challenging. However, with an investment of nearly $3.7 billion from the state, the essential infrastructure in the border village has been greatly expanded. Roma children now have the opportunity to attend school.
Before, villagers didn't know how to read and write. They can do it now thanks to the state's policy. This has resulted in improved education opportunities and increased earning potential for the local population.
Initiatives aimed at supporting production development have enabled the Roma people to reshape their agricultural and livestock practices. Presently, the average income per person in Le Village has reached nearly 20 million VND per year. Additionally, authorities actively assist the community in preserving their cultural heritage and reviving traditional festivals of the Roma people.
The infrastructure in our village has been invested in to create a spacious and clean living environment.
The province has been making serious commitments toward cultural preservation, including initiatives like teaching the younger generation to play the gongs and organizing traditional festivals of ethnic groups.
In the ongoing effort to stabilize and enhance the well-being of the Roma ethnic, Kon Tum province will prioritize the resources from 3 national target programs. The focus will be on supporting the adoption of high-tech production, elevating the value of agricultural products, aiming to raise the income of the Roma people to 30 million VND per person per year by 2025.
The new rice ceremony is the most significant ritual of the Sơ Đăng people in the Central Highlands. During this ceremony, villagers express gratitude to the gods and genies, praying for a bountiful harvest, abundant rice and maize, productive animals, prosperity, and happiness. Our report from Con Haring village, Đắk Lắk province.
The harvested rice was cooked in bamboo tubes, resulting in a unique fragrance and taste. After the necessary preparations, the village elders hosted a ritual to express gratitude to heaven and earth and to pay tribute to their ancestors on behalf of the rest of the villagers.
After a year of hard work, the villagers hold the new rice ceremony. They pray for good weather and abundant crops.
After offering prayers for health and prosperity, the villagers gathered together to enjoy the newly harvested rice. They drank wine and participated in mass dancing and gong performances. The new rice ceremony was marked by numerous worship rituals and festive activities. What was once a family ritual in the past has now evolved into a community event.
I find the local culture unique and amazing. I really want to learn more about their cultural values.
While dancing to the beat of drums and gongs, the Serdang people and visitors gathered in a circle. They wished for the best things for their family members and friends, coming together in celebration.
May God bless all villagers with happiness and success this year. I hope I'll earn much more money compared to last year.
Thanks to their strong solidarity, the villagers have preserved their unique traditions and cultural values. Local authorities have joined hands with the villagers to preserve the local culture.
The festival strengthens their belief and motivates them to work harder for prosperity and wealth.
Coming up next in our world news. Hamas freezes talks with Israel after deputy leader killed in Beirut. And Houthis fired 2 anti-ship ballistic missiles into Red Sea. Moving on to our world news. Hamas announced a freeze on ceasefire negotiations with Israel after the fraction's deputy chief Saleh al-Aruri was killed on Tuesday in an Israeli attack in Lebanon. Aruri, at 57, is considered one of the prominent Hamas leaders and a founder of the Al-Qassam brigades and its cells in the West Bank. After the attack, Hamas told the 2 mediators, Qatar and Egypt, about its decision to freeze all discussions about a ceasefire agreement and hostage swap with Israel. Accordingly, the Palestinian movement will reject any talks about reaching a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip amid escalating Israeli aggression and assassination schemes against Palestinian leaders. Israeli media, citing senior officials, said that the country was on high alert against a significant retaliation. The U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, said late on Tuesday that Houthi militants fired 2 anti-ship ballistic missiles into the southern Red Sea, though no damage was reported. The CENTCOM also said Houthis' illegal action endangered the lives of dozens of innocent mariners and continued to disrupt the free flow of international commerce, adding that this is the 24th attack against merchant shipping in the southern Red Sea since November 19th. According to a French official, the United Nations Security Council is set to hold a meeting to address heightened security concerns in the Red Sea. All 379 people aboard a Japan Airline plane escaped the burning airliner after a collision with a Coast Guard aircraft at Tokyo's Haneda Airport that killed 5 of 6 crew on the smaller aircraft on Tuesday. The passengers have spoken of the horrible incident and called their escape a miracle.
Passengers said that when the fire was detected, evacuation began almost immediately after landing. They were shaken by a rattling and a bang after leaving the aircraft, but they remained calm and were taken to safety in less than 20 minutes.
I can only say it was a miracle. We could have died if we were late. I heard an explosion about 10 minutes after everyone and I got off the plane.
Iwama, another passenger, said that they survived because the flight attendants acted professionally. They kept the passengers calm and helped them escape safely.
Even though I heard screams, mostly people were calm and didn't stand up from their seats, but kept sitting and waiting. That's why I think we were able to escape smoothly.
Aviation experts said the unshakable composure displayed by the flight attendants combined with the high level of cooperation among passengers probably prevented a deeply unsettling experience becoming a major disaster.
According to the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, managing director, U.S. is on track for a soft landing, suggesting a scenario where the economy will experience a slowdown without slipping into recession. She also conveyed a sense of optimism for the U.S. general public, encouraging them to view the current economic scenario positively. The IMF chief attributed this positive forecast to the Federal Reserve's decisiveness in taming inflation, bringing the desired impact without pushing the economy into recession. However, she repeated her warnings against fragmentation of the global economy along geopolitical lines due to increasing national security restrictions, which may sacrifice as much as 7% of global GDP. Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that is it for our morning news bulletin. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.